Oh. Hello. Oh. That didn't go well. Wait. I know how we can fix this. Wait.
Are you doing it again?
Oh, it didn't work that time either.
Okay, now what's wrong with you? The tech guy, sack the tech guy, innit? We need a new tech guy. Applicants to see Xtra Pod on Twitter. Jesus,
Please.
guy's lost his magic touch.
No, I also back this. Can someone take my job, please?
Yes, guys, how you doing, man? Hopefully you're well. It's match day 1 of the Champions League. City away in Seville. We've got press conference reaction from yesterday and obviously the preview for the game. It's an important game because obviously you always want to get off to a good start in the Champions League, and obviously Dortmund is match day 2. So ideally, you want to be picking up all 3 points. So we're going to got loads to talk about today. Like I say, we've got the whole press conference yesterday that we'll go through, and then we'll have a look at just a standard preview, and maybe at the end do maybe like a bit of a predicted lineup, which could be interesting because there's a few injuries that we'll get into. Now, before we start, guys, please make sure you've already dropped a like on the stream. 250 people in already. Yes, hopefully you're doing well. We're currently on 65 likes. Let's see if we can get that past 100. And make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. We're 100 subscribers away from 63,000, man. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you've not done so already. I'm alright, Mural. Thanks for asking, Bray. Yeah, so bro, I mean, before we get into sort of like the press conference and that, just sort of like a little bit of a prediction for the sort of Champions League this season, bro. Like, what we're thinking. I've already said
this should have been a video, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I've said already, really, that I think that this is the year, man. You know, what I mean, I think İlkay Gundogan is taking us to Istanbul, and I think this is the year that Man City finally win the UCL, bro.
I think we'll get to semi-finals, and then that'll be it.
What?
We don't win Champions League, innit?
You do what you think, semi-final, something like that?
Semi-final, then we're dusted again. We're all fuming, Pep out, and then we go again. We keep going. Oh, and then, by the way, I'm kind of like Uno reversing, like double jinx mode, innit? Do you know what I mean? What's it called? Reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I say this, then it won't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm kind of like in the back of my head because I want to win the Champions League, innit? But we don't win Champions League round here, innit? Then Haaland would be like, yo, he'll be like, yo, what is this? Why have we not got no Champions League?
Yeah,
and then
I
we're
just
like,
feel
no,
like,
we don't do them.
I feel like all the mistakes that we've made, whether it be the team, whether it be Pep Guardiola over the last few years, I feel like I'm trying to think of, is there any other mistakes that we could possibly make now? I feel like we've exhausted all potential mistakes.
We've bottled it at the last minute with mad Pep decisions. Where else does it go, innit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's nothing else that can happen now. So
now you've said it now, innit? something there's and you go, oh, that's what could happen.
Nah, so that's why. And we finally got a goal scorer, do you know what I mean? Erling Haaland, big number 9, and hopefully he can take us there, man. But I feel like surely we're not going to be getting to the end of the season and going, another mistake here or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this has to be it. Luke, yes, bro. Member for 25 months, man. That's absolutely wild. Happy to confirm I'm part of the 2-year member gang. Brilliant 2 years. I really enjoyed what both of you have done for the City YouTube scene. Oh, thank you very much for that.
Yes, Luke. That. And he's also got the GOAT thing. Yes. The GOAT badge. Yes.
To see it. Dr. Footy, Akanji going to carry us to the UCL. Akanji coin stonks. And Johnny Lara, also a 2-year Donny, says, here's to the first batch of a GOAT Club. Hope to see more of you chat soon. Yes, already 2 there in the chat. Good to see, man. Right, let's get into it. I want to go through the press conference because that was yesterday. Pep Guardiola obviously speaking ahead of tonight's game against Seville. And by the way, we will speak a little bit about Seville because they've not had a very good start to the season, bro. Yeah, it's a bit of a madness. Oh, by the way, did you hear that the plane that took the City squad to Seville was delayed, bro, because of strong winds, man?
There was a couple of planes delayed, weren't there? I seen a few people on Twitter who were going over yesterday. Were getting delayed yesterday, innit? So
yeah, I'm proper into my sort of aviation,
air crash investigation.
I'm an aviation nerd, innit? Basically, last night, in fact, I can confirm that last night I was actually watching YouTube video on a new Airbus plane, bro. XLR. Yes, I am a nerd. Right, let's get into it then. Rodri was with Pep Guardiola yesterday in the press conference. So he had a bit to say. When you finished the season, you did what you did when you finish the season, you see what you did good and can improve on. We did a great season last year. We didn't arrive in the final and the FA Cup, but the season was good. We won the Premier League, new players, new goals and targets for the new season. You have to adapt to what the coach wants with new players. It will be different this year with the World Cup as well, but we have a lot of ambition. I find it quite interesting, obviously, the fact that even though, like, basically the goal never change, right? Because at the end of the day, the goal for Manchester City is to win every single trophy that they're in, right? That's the goal every year. But they always speak about, like, we've got new targets. So I wonder what that means. You know what I mean? I wonder if at the beginning of the season they get together and they really want to focus on this, whether that be an aspect of the game, you know what I mean? Whether it be we don't want to bottle two goal leads, whether it's, you know, we want to arrive in the finals more, you know, whether I don't know what them targets are, because he didn't say specifically what the targets are, but I'm just wondering what did he mean by that? Because for me, the goal is always the same. The targets, in my view, never change. It's to win every single trophy. But they're talking about they have different targets. You know what I mean?
I mean, potentially it's going from potentially the targets are basically like doing better than the previous season. The main target is always the same, to win absolutely everything. But I mean, then you look at the failures of last year and go, right, this year we want to get to the final. This year, do you know what I mean? Because Carabao Cup, I mean, FA Cup, stuff like that, maybe get further in them competitions because we won the Premier League, so they're probably like, yeah, right, this year these are the targets to get to. We know the main one is obviously win everything, but do you know what I mean, just like improving on last season, so you can kind of see the trajectory going forward.
Yeah. No, that I guess that does actually make sense when you say that.
But in my head, I see him sat there saying, right, Champions League this year is the main priority. I've seen him saying that for the last few years. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it is a big thing, and I think it's a big thing that they want to win. I don't feel like the thing is that Pep doesn't want the unnecessary pressure from the board, and they ain't going to give him that. Yeah. They're not going to go, right, you win the Champions League this year, or that's it. This is dusted. Do you know what I mean? No new contract.
No, of course. It wouldn't be a press conference without some Erling Haaland talk. And Rodri said, we know the player he is, not just in the Champions League, but how he plays. He's improving a lot. He's trying to fit into our team. We know his goals, but he wants to improve in the game. He's so young and wants to improve. It's a tricky competition, but you need these type of players. You won't always be in good moments. You can pass it to him and he scores from nothing. Hopefully, he continues in this sense. Now, this is interesting, right? This is interesting. However, I've got a little... I disagree. I disagree with a lot of people on Erling Haaland and the Champions League. People say, Erling Haaland might finally be the difference that wins Manchester City the Champions League. I guess the only season that you could possibly have said that was the one when we got to the final and we played Chelsea because we failed to score. However, in pretty much every other Champions League season since Pep Guardiola's here, goal scoring has not been the issue in Champions Leagues. It's been conceding goals. Look at Real Madrid conceding goals, Tottenham conceding goals, Tottenham conceding goals, Monaco conceding goals, Liverpool. If you look at these games, we score goals. We've always scored goals in the Champions League. There was only one season that we got knocked out of the Champions League due to goals, and that was the one where we got beaten in the final against Chelsea. And arguably, you know, that was more due to the fact that Pep Guardiola messed with the team and didn't play a centre defensive midfielder for some reason. So whilst I get what people are saying, they just automatically go, oh yeah, City have got Erling Haaland, he's going to help them to win the Champions League. Well, the goals have never been the issue. It's actually been conceding goals.
Yeah, no, I agree. And last year, obviously, you can't say going into that second leg, if you wipe out the first leg, going into the second leg, I mean, the conceding goals was the main issue. However, like people have mentioned in the chat, having Haaland in that first leg could have seen us out of sight. That's actually scary thinking about that.
I get that, and I get why. Because in that first leg against Real Madrid, right, we should have scored 6, 7, 8 goals, no cap. And if Haaland was in there, then that's fine. But you shouldn't have to score 6, 7 or 8 goals to go through in the Champions League. You know what I mean? And the reason that people are saying that is because we conceded so many goals. If you're scoring 4 or 5 goals against Real Madrid, realistically, that should be enough to get you through. We shouldn't have to score 6, 7 or 8. In my opinion, we need to fix up our goal conceded in Champions League games. It's not... I don't know if this is true, right? And maybe I'll do some research after the stream. But I would be very surprised if you go back and have a look at the winners of all the last 6, 7 or 8 Champions Leagues. whether they conceded as many as we do in knockout games. Now, I don't know. I'll check that, to see if that is actually a thing. Maybe what City do is normal. Maybe the amount of goals we concede is normal. I don't think it is, but I will check it. Well, where we are? Oh yeah, Rodri also speaking about the Seville manager. They have a great manager. He works really well and have great players. It's true, a few players have left, but they're always a competitive team, especially at home. They will be attacking all the time, and I feel like that's probably a good segue onto the speak a little bit about Seville actually, because they've not had a good start to the season, bro. They've not. They're currently 17th in La Liga. 4 games played, 1 draw. 3 losses, 0 wins. They've only scored 3 goals and conceded 8 already.
Who's the Seville manager? Oh, it's that Lopetegui. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, so they've just not had a good time. You know what I mean? Starting the season. So I don't know, man. Like, surely we've got to be going there really and just doing them in.
Apparently, Darcy's doing them in. Darcy there says they lost both their starting centre backs as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of Koundé and Carlos.
Yeah.
Oh no, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. So, you're right. You're right.
We're playing a team there it's a bang out of form.
Latabo said that he watched them against Barcelona. I think that was the last game they played, or one of the last games that they played.
Yeah.
And they just gave them too much space, that's good for us. That's very, very good for us.
Well, yeah, they got beat 3-0 there against they've got who they got? They got Fernando, haven't they? They play Fernando at centre back now, which is kind of mad. They got Rakitic.
Fernando.
Yeah. Fernando.
Mad.
They've got Isco. They've got Rakitic. They've got Lamela. They've got Acuna. They've got some decent players there. You know what I mean?
As if Isco went there.
Yeah, Isco Disco, innit? You know what I mean? So they have got some decent players, but let's be honest, Eric Lamela was never the best player in the world. Rakitic must be seriously old now. Fernando, I mean, he's 35. And Isco Disco season, innit? You know what I mean?
Don't forget the GOAT, innit? Jesus Navas.
He's still there, yeah.
The best crosser in world football.
No way. I didn't even know he was still there. I didn't realise he was still there.
I think he's captain. Oh, he was captain for a bit anyway.
I don't think he plays for him anymore. Like, I think he's on the bench.
Is he just like a chiller now?
Yeah, but basically, guys, facts are they're having a terrible start to the season. They've got an ageing squad. If we keep the ball and play with intensity, something that we didn't do against Aston Villa, then we will destroy them. But if we don't play with intensity, then they have quality players, good technical ability, and it could be difficult. Dr. 40 says Ortega never played UCL. He will be arse. Conrobbo with a 5 says, yes, lads, been at my mum's wedding all weekend, so not been here, but hope yous are doing well. The Villa game was poor, but tonight, Star Gundo leads the way.
Yes,
bro.
Conrobbo, I like that energy, you know what I mean? He's like, Villa was arse. He's like, but I'm ready to go again, innit? He's ready. He wants it.
Yeah, absolutely. And congrats to your mum, bro. And Masson with a 2 says Man City sponsored by Jorex Bria. That's what he's saying. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. We're currently on 170 likes, 30 away from 200, so make sure you're dropping a thumbs up on the stream, and make sure you are subscribed as well. We're 100 subscribers away from 63k, man. Another thing is being spoke about a lot this season is congested fixture schedules. We all know it. World Cup in the middle. Every team's got to deal with it. And Rodri is going with that as well. He's saying, it is what it is. Been the same since last year's, but without a World Cup, every 3 days is normal. I don't know if it's the best for the players, but we have to adapt. You need a long team with everyone involved. 11 players is impossible. We start this run, and it's the moment you have to take care more and balance everything and give everything. Everyone involved too. Everyone will be important. Obviously, speaking about how important the squad will be this season because of the fixture congestion. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I feel like it's gone up a level this year, and it's like it was already at sort of max, innit?
It's pretty wild because obviously we play pretty much every 3 days now. That's kind of the situation that we find ourselves in. But the issue that we have is injuries because our squad depth isn't the best this year. And when you start to hit these injuries, that's where the problems become when you're playing every 3 days and stuff because there's not really time for the players to come back. But you know what I mean? We've got a Kanji in. We've made signings this summer with Sergio Gomez, stuff like that, full-back kind of thingy. So I'm interested in the way that we play. I agree the squad's a big thing. They need to keep their heads up in that. But I also think that City play better when we're playing very, very regular. Like every 3 days, City like on it.
No, that's it. And we've always been slow starters, haven't we? I mean, this season, I'd argue, has been a decent start to the season. Obviously, we're unbeaten. A couple of draws where you might look back and go, oh, I wish we could have done better there. A few issues with how slow we start in games, but we're coming through at the moment. But it's been a decent start, and you are right. Typically, when we start to play every 3 days, that's where City excel, because the team needs to. I feel like that's where the team needs to be. Back to the Seville bit, actually, Rodri was asked about the whole Seville, and he said, I don't think the situation is ideal. It is true that they've not collected the results they wanted in La Liga, but I saw their match against Barcelona and they played well. At home they can hurt you. We'll be on high alert. Goes on to say, we know it'll be a very demanding game. Seville have a great squad and we know we'll have to be good to beat them. And then he also says about their poor form. You can look at that two ways. Either they're going to make the most of a moment like this, or Seville will come back stronger. We're not really giving it a thought. We have to put everything into context. Seville haven't had the results they want, but they're a good squad, and that's what we are looking at. And whilst I'm saying, like, obviously this should be an easy game for City if they turn up and play well and pass and play at high intensity, you know, the players, Rodri is correct to say that they're not looking at that.
Nothing's ever like, do you know what I mean? Nothing. You should never be going into a game thinking this is an easy game. Take every game serious. Do you know what I mean? You should like, as players, they should not be going into that going, oh, easy this.
Yeah,
because that's how you end up dropping points. But then you can also argue the fact that if you look at, I know the Premier League's different in that, but look at Aston Villa. We played Aston Villa, who were in terrible form, and they ended up getting a draw against us.
Yeah.
So these things do happen. We just need to be serious. I mean, respect the opposition enough to at least, do you know what I mean, put your best in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that was the end of Rodri's job yesterday. And then it was the turn of Pep Guardiola. So, you know, I'm happy with obviously what Rodri's saying there. Rodri's obviously a good speaker. And in my opinion, I thought he had a poor game, but then everyone had a poor game against Aston Villa. It doesn't help at all that Calvin Phillips has obviously picked up an injury, because we bought him to help Rodri out in these moments, because Rodri can't play every 3 games. He physically cannot do that, you know what I mean? So Calvin Phillips, obviously it's not his fault he gets injured, you know what I mean? But he's going to have a big part to play this season, and we need him to come back and stay fit, you know what I mean? People say, oh, he's going to be a flop, or he's hardly going to play. He's only not going to play if he's injured. You know what I mean? If he's fit, he will play. There's too many games this season, and they're all too close together. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you look at now to the World Cup, right? I know we've got an international break, so if you forget about that in a moment, we've got a game every 3 days, apart from 2 times when we've got a 4-day break. Every other game we've got a 3-day break, other than obviously the international break in the middle of September. So there's going to be plenty of occasions for him to play, and he'll be playing in big games. He'll be playing in Champions League. He'll be playing in Premier League games where we need to win. City don't really have this luxury in the Premier League of going in and just being able to play an easy game. Look at Newcastle, look at Aston Villa. Every game's look at Palace. Every game that we play is so difficult, man. So hopefully he can come back from his shoulder injury and and take the pressure off Rodri. But that's what he's there to do.
Well, injury-wise, what is the situation now then? I'm going to guess Pep will speak about it. Pep has spoken about it.
Well, actually, that's what he's speaking about, because he speaks about John Stones and Ake. So he says on John Stones, basically, this is obviously yesterday, John Stones arrived this morning. He didn't feel good. That's why we're lucky the club gave us Manuel Akanji. And then he goes on to say, the history for John Stones and Nathan Ake, they aren't reliable to play every week. It is what it is, mainly because of this incredible schedule for many years. The players cannot sustain it for a long time. So he's basically just called out, you know, John Stones and Ake's fitness, you know, and saying, oh, I can't rely on John Stones and Ake going a full season without an injury. You know what I mean? They're both gonna get injured. That's just who they are as players. It is what it is. He takes the heat off by saying, obviously, it's probably down to the schedule. But he's absolutely right. He said, look, we're lucky that the club gave me a Akanji. Otherwise, we'd be in real trouble. The club moved quick to bring in another player in this position, which again tells me that it was sort of like, I say panic buy, but it was a quick buy. It was City being nimble in the transfer market. City didn't look at Akanji at the beginning of the transfer window and say, we're going to sign him.
No, it was. I mean, you have to be on your toes, innit? Because when, I mean, he might not have been available, or City weren't having their eyes there. But then someone obviously has said, maybe a Kanji's agent has said to like City, look, if you need another centre back, we have Akanji's available. We think we can get him out of Dortmund quite cheap, and then City might have gone, you know what? Yep, do that, because apparently he's very fast. Apparently we signed him on it started popping off on the Tuesday. The first negotiations were on the Monday. Do you know what I mean? So like they were moving mad, and I've just seen there as well, bro, on the severity of the injuries of John Stones and Kyle Walker. Pep said John is not much. Kyle, not much too, but I don't know if he's ready for Saturday or Dortmund or Wolves after the international break. So he's like, not much, but he might miss the next 3 games. Do you know what I mean? Or 4 games. So he's like, yeah, that sounds a little bit much, that. It doesn't sound like not much there, Pep. Yeah. So obviously John isn't too bad, but Kyle Walker might be a little bit dusted, which obviously, speaking of more new signings, could give a big option for a big chance for Sergio Gomez and Cancelo to basically both hold it down, because Kyle Walker has been under the firing line. I mean, getting cooked and that, because when he's been playing, he's not been the best. Looking ass. Cancelo can go to that right back spot, and then Sergio Gomez at left back spot, and see if that works better than the way that the Kyle Walker and Cancelo dynamic has been working for the past few weeks. So I think it's a massive opportunity. And that's what I mean. That's why the new signings were crucial signings, and it shows in it. Like, I don't know if Kyle Walker, this injury thing, but I don't remember Kyle Walker getting injured this much in a long time. Innit? It seems to be that the past 6 months is getting more regular injuries. I guess maybe that's just the way careers go and that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Well, I don't want to look too much into it. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, he's 32 years old. He's a fast player. He will pick up injuries. You know what I'm saying? And this is why it's important that we give Sergio Gomez a real good go. This is why it's important to see if Wilson Esbrand is ready at this level. This is why it's important to play Rico Lewis as much as possible, because at some point in the season you might need them to play an important game. So, tonight I would personally look at Sergio Gomez left and Cancelo right. We will go through a predicted 11 at the end of the stream, but that's what I would start with. And then if we're out of sight by 60 minutes, I'd be taking off Cancelo and I'd be putting Rico Lewis on, unless he played today. I didn't actually see the starting 11.
Oh yeah, because they won their Champions League game today, didn't they?
Yeah, I checked the starting 11 for the City game this morning. Obviously they won. They did really well this morning, but in fact I've got it here. So Lewis didn't play. This morning, so I would be looking at playing Rico Lewis. If we're 2-3-0 up after 60 minutes, really that should be enough to see it out, and I would put him on, because we need to be getting them in, because we need to start better than
it, because you might come to a stage where you need to rely on Rico Lewis,
and not even just rely on them. You can't play Cancelo every game. You can't play for 90 minutes. You know what I mean? We've got another game against Tottenham at the weekend, so if there's an opportunity to take Cancelo off, you know what I mean, then you've got to take it. This is why, obviously, when Rodri was talking about how it's not just a starting 11, it's not just a squad, you're now actually looking at the academy players as well, saying, you lads are actually going to have a really, really important job for us this season, in terms of being able to come in, play 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, probably more than any other season that we've ever had under Pep Guardiola. Couple of super chats coming in. Dr. Footy says Gundogan will take us all the way. He deserves it. I agree, bro. This is the season, man. Mr. XQuest says, would you guys like San Maximan to City? I don't want him, bro.
I can't get behind the Saint Maximin to City deal, but I'm gonna lie, looking good this season, Saint Maximin. I know he's been looking good for a while, innit? But I mean, this season, he cooked us. But I mean, it's just not for me. I don't think the flair that he brings to the game and stuff like that. He's like taking on and stuff. I don't think Pep won't like that. Pep, and as well, he'd be a changed player if he came in. Pep would be like, "Yo, you ain't doing none of that shit." Just pass the ball. No, pass.
Facts. Obeyed with a 5 and then a 2. Says, yes, we believe. And then says, it's Rico Lewis season. I agree, bro. It's Rico Lewis season this year. He's going to play a lot of minutes, I think. I think he's got a really, really good career ahead of him. Pep Guardiola, he continued to speak in the conference, bro. On the UCL, it's a difficult competition. Proud to be here again. We tried since day one. We didn't get much, but the last year to the last stages. I don't know tomorrow on the pitch against Dortmund, Copenhagen. It all depends on our performance. If we are not good, we go home and get punishments from the fans and the media, and then after a while we move forward. Last season we fought to be here. We know how difficult it will be. Spanish teams dominating Europe. Tomorrow, don't miss the spectacle in the stadium. We'll try and do a good game and try to do 3 points. And then quite funny, someone said, like, can you win it or what? And then he says, win it or not win it? Fuck, I don't know. Sport always gives you another opportunity. I'd love to have a story like Seville have in Europe. Obviously, Seville are quite a prestigious European team. They've won quite a lot of European competitions.
Yeah, I find it funny how it's the win it or not win it. Like, he's not. It's like for Pep, bro. That's what I'm saying. He ain't got that pressure. He ain't got that pressure from the board, Pep. It's not like the pressure to win the Champions League and that. Do you know what I mean? And I like that. I like that from the way that the club like move with Pep Guardiola and stuff. It's interesting though. It's interesting. Like, obviously we've been through that injuries and stuff. It kind of swerved the Phillips situation. I don't know if he's been asked about Phillips, but I didn't hear anything. Then obviously we spoke about it, but I thought we might have had a bit more clarity as to whether Callum Phillips would be fit for this. Because remember the other day he was like, oh yeah, he could be back soon. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. And then obviously Jack Grealish is back, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Jack Grealish is legit back. So now the title of the stream, is City to rotate, right? Which is something that we always use. But it's a legit question because we did our September preview on this, and we spoke about the situation, and we spoke about before where Erling Haaland can get his rest in and things like that. Squad wise, what, like, we would obviously before we go into our like predicting 11 and stuff, what do you think we just go full ham? Like, it's hard to not go full ham because of the size of the squad now, and you know what I mean, every team that we can play basically is a full ham squad. But
yeah,
are you full switch season? Do you know what I mean? Like, we got a game against Tottenham, we just played like a couple of days ago. Are you just changing every play that you can possibly can?
Probably not. I mean, I'll come to that in just a sec, bro, because I want to go through the starting 11. That's probably a good place to do that. Joe sent a super chat in and said, yes, lads. 3-1 City, Haaland hat-trick, of course. Yes, bro. Chase Dubet, member for 22 months, says, honestly, I feel I'd rather see Rico start and rest Cancelo for the weekend. More room to recover from a poor performance in the group stages than the Prem. That's a good point. Some people will agree with you. And Obeyed with a 5. Hope you're feeling well, lad. Yeah,
yes, Obeyed. Hope you're good.
Man. Yeah, let me just say this last statement, bro, from Pep, and then we'll come on to that. I think that's a really good point about should we actually rotate. He just goes on to say a couple of things, obviously, about Erling Haaland again. He always talks. We always get asked about Erling Haaland, man. It's absolutely wild. He was asked about sort of strikers and that. He says, all players try to make us better. Otherwise, makes no sense. That helps us win titles. I don't know. If we all rely on Erling Haaland's shoulders, we won't win the UCL. We tried to create chances for him to score. We convinced him to come here. We felt we didn't have much strikers to be involved in the way we play. He settles good, just like Julian Alvarez and the other players. I understand everyone talks about Erling, but I have 3, 4, 5 new players, and it's important that they all settle. We don't win just for Erling. We don't lose just for Erling. He has a special quality and might be able to solve some problems. If we don't play good, though, we will not win games.
We're a one-man team, innit?
We're not a one-man team, and it's important that we don't turn into a one-man team.
No, the players need to remember that as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just because Haaland's in the team and he's the guy getting the goals, and it doesn't mean that you're not individually a good player as well. Do you know what I mean? Just because Haaland's ain't bagging in that. Do you know what I mean? You can't be like, as much as like, I think 0161 Darren did a tweet last year and he was like, fuck it, Haaland in the box. Do you know what I mean? Like, just cross it's Haaland in the box, he'll be there somewhere. But you kind of have to kind of not do that at the same time, because yes, you do want to be crossing the ball into Erling Haaland, but at the same time, you can't just be relying on him all the time. And like he says there, if you're not playing well, then you ain't going to win the games. And look at Villa. Yeah. Look at Villa. Erling Haaland started the game. He scored in that game, but we didn't win the game because we didn't play well.
No, absolutely. Final point from Pep then before we move on to what we think is going to happen in terms of the team lineup. Says on Seville, they won't be concerned with just defending. We have to be prepared. They'll be aggressive. This competition is played with a lot of enthusiasm, more so in a stadium like this. We have to be prepared. We have to crank up the pace, which is exactly what I wanted to hear him say, man, because it was so slow against Aston Villa. Right, bro, coming on to what you were saying a moment ago. Should City rotate? Will they go harm? What do we think City should do? So obviously some people are saying they want Ortega in there, but that's just doubt that's going to happen, man.
Why?
Just don't see why that would. I just don't.
We start with go back to the Champions League group stage last year. Did we not start Stefan?
Nah. I think he'd be more likely to start Ortega in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup games, but in the Champions League, it's going to be Ederson. It's going to be Ederson. So yeah. But right back and left back, I think I've already said what I want. I want Cancelo right back and I want Sergio Gomez left back. I mean, it's pretty much all you can do unless you they're madness. But
The thing is, it doesn't have to be that.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be that, because if you get, I mean, the other thing is, no, it does. In my head, I was like, it doesn't have to be that, because we can play 3 at the back. But then John Stones is now injured as well, so I'll be like, yeah, I'm not risking all my centre backs in one game. We can't be doing that. Yeah, so it does basically have to be Cancelo or. I mean, you could like Chase DeBet said, you could just full send Rico Lewis and fix up later. Do I think Pep would do that? No, I think he'd rather bring him on at some point. I think it, like you say, it's gonna be Sergio Gomez and Cancelo. That's the way I see it.
yeah.
By the way,
backs.
Rob Wilson 179. Did you have a good night Saturday night? Yes, Rob.
Yes, Rob, it was good.
Heavy is what the name is. Heavy night. Yeah, 2 centre back wise.
It's going to be a Kanji, innit?
Yeah, it's got. I full send a Kanji. Deju Kanji. A Kanji, and then who's your second? Diaz.
Diaz, yeah.
Akanji and Diaz. Because Akanji can play left side centre back.
Yeah, he can play left side of centre back. Yeah.
Whether or not he would, I don't know. But.
Ake. So the Ake situation. So is he
back.
Is he fully back now?
He's back, yeah.
I mean, you could.
Because he came on, didn't he? He came on against Villa.
Yeah, I mean,
forced to come on, but still he did come on.
Yeah.
So you could play Akanji and Ake.
You could, because Ruben Diaz probably needs a rest, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people saying that his performance levels have dropped off this season, which I probably agree with, to be fair. Would it be helpful to give Ruben Diaz a little bit of a rest, put a Kanji in and Ake? I mean, if we're being honest, guys, I know that's not like, you know, it's probably one of our weakest centre-back pairings, but should that really cost us the game against Seville when they've not won a game this season in 4? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you have to take a little bit of a risk, and I think it's where you take those risks and against who you take those risks. I think at Seville away, match day 1 of the Champions League, so even if it does go pear-shaped, you still have opportunities to sort it out. Surely we're not losing this game because Ruben Diaz, because Akanji and Ake just have stinkers, you know what I mean? Surely we've got enough in the tank. I mean, I went through the team like before, they're really old, the Seville team. So yeah, I would be happy with that. I would be happy with sending Akanji and Ake. I really would.
Then would you play? Yeah, you play Ake. Akanji is your right side centre back, and then Ake is your left side centre back. You know what I mean? I'm good for that. I'm good for changes in this game. Do you know what I mean? Especially because we do have Spurs coming up at the weekend. And imagine like, basically, I don't want to get into a situation. Say like Diaz gets injured in this game. Yeah. Then you're forced to play Ake Akanji. Do you know what I mean? Then it's not like a choice anymore. It's it's Ake Akanji season. So I'd run Ake and Akanji. Personally, I think Diaz will probably start, but I'd like to run that.
There is a way that you can rotate the midfield as well, and it still be decent, right? I thought Rodri against Aston Villa was very poor, and I also thought he looked very, very tired. Now, there's 2 things you could do. You could just play him again and just, you know, hope that it was just sort of a one-off, right? But then obviously if he is tired, he's not going to get that rest ahead of Spurs. Or you could potentially look at playing Ilkay Gundogan as the 6, like we did in the Centurions year. We know he's very good at that role. We know he's able to do it.
This is pending Phillips not being fit, by the way. We don't know if he's fit.
I don't think he's fully match fit. I just read a preview and they said he's not fully match fit, so I'd highly doubt that he would start this game. So it depends if you wanted to rest Rodri. If you wanted to rest Rodri, then Ilkay Gundogan is more than capable of playing that number 6 position. He did it in the whole of the Centurions year and was very, very good at it. And it would allow you to then rest Rodri ahead of what is an absolutely huge game at the weekend against the only other unbeaten side in the Premier League in Spurs. So it all just depends on whether or not you want to rest Rodri or not. The downside to that is that you're then probably going to be playing Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva all in the same game. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously injuries, you know, this kind of stuff could happen. So I don't know.
Do you have to do that though? Can you not play Jack Grealish in the mid?
I mean, yes, you could, but I don't think that's going to happen, is it?
Or Phil Ford in the mid?
You could. I just don't think that's going to happen. I've not seen anything from Pep Guardiola since them 2 have been in the side that has suggested to me that he's willing to pull the trigger and say, okay, you're in the middle.
Yeah, not in like massive games.
Yeah, I don't even see it in games like this. I just don't see it. I don't see him doing it. I agree with you. I would do it. I would quite happily play Phil Foden in the midfield. I would quite happily play Jack Grealish in the midfield. I don't see it. I don't see Pep doing that though.
It's just rough, man. It's rough because you're full sending De Bruyne, you're full sending Gundogan, you're full sending Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva been playing on the right hand side. Do you know what I mean? But then we're like, nah, back to the mid, Bernardo. You're back here again. I don't know. It just stinks, doesn't it? It stinks.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I do.
Position. Obviously, like Obeyed there said, we don't want that nice. Is Phillips back, or is there any timeline?
He's back, but he's
back. Apparently, he's in training.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not going to start this game, is he? He's not going to start this game. No chance. He's only just come back from his shoulder injury. I mean,
but Pep might be like, look, full send him back, and at least give like Rodri a rest, and then Gundogan can play with Bernardo or like with Kev.
I know, but you know what? I don't see.
It's a shit situation either way.
Yeah, he might be on the bench, but I would just be very surprised for him to come from not even on the bench 3 days ago to now start a Champions League away game in Seville. That's why I don't see it. Could be on the bench, yeah, no problem. Maybe you could play Gundogan or Rodri for 60 minutes.
That's what I mean. So yeah, play. You could full send Rodri. You could play full send Rodri for the first half.
Yeah.
Say, look, mate, you got a half football in you. You're playing a half football, then Palmer. Then a thing is going on for you, Phillips. Obviously, Cole Palmer's a player as well who can play. I see him more on the right hand side, but Baby the 199. Spain is a bad place for Phillips. It's bad for his shoulder, isn't it? It didn't matter how this Phillips injury came from a friendly.
Yeah.
A friendly. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I do? This is what I do. This is what I'd full send. I would full send Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Alvarez, Haaland, Grealish. That's what I'd do. Boom, sent it. See you later.
So you're giving Haaland no rest?
I'm not giving Haaland no rest. Haaland would not accept not playing today. He would not accept it. That guy wants records.
Yeah, bro, this is so different to what you said last week. Last week you was like, Haaland needs rest. Yeah, now you're saying Haaland won't accept rest.
I know, but I just, this guy doesn't want rest. He wants to play.
He wants to keep playing. Yeah,
I don't think he'd be happy if he didn't start.
Bro, he's said very openly. He's said very openly that his Champions League is his favourite competition.
Yeah,
he wants to get off firing in this Champions League. So I think Pep will start him anyway. I'd like to see him start Alvarez. Well, I think Alvarez is 100% going to start. Especially he didn't play at all against Villa. I think Alvarez has to start. I mean, he got 100% play.
Yeah.
Who was your other one? Who's your other winger? Phil Foden?
No, Grealish.
Yeah, Grealish. No,
I'd rest Foden ahead of the weekend.
I back full sending Grealish as well because Grealish has looked decent when he's been in the side.
And he needs fitness. He needs minutes.
Yeah, he needs to be back. And then midfield wise, I don't know what I guess I like your version of it. Do you know what I mean? It's very ham. It's very ham.
But I like it. But then that's what I think this game needs. I think this game just needs a bit of ham.
I'm thinking more. My head says, I don't like it. By the way, I don't like it. This is why Pep has like a mega headache. I'd be like, I'd full send Rodri for the first half.
So let me and then what would you do?
Rodri, Kev Gundo.
So okay. So let me give you my opinion on that.
Or Rodri, Bernardo, Gundo.
Yeah, so let me give you my opinion on that. If, I don't know why, why would we need to start Rodri for 45 minutes? Surely, like, Gundogan in that 6, or even Phillips then in that 6, can do a job. Like, surely we don't need Rodri to get through this game against Seville.
But I thought it was going on the basis that Phillips ain't playing. Like, because I'm thinking, like, if we can get Rodri for doing a half, then if Phillips is fit enough, to do 45 minutes, then put him on 45 minutes. I mean, Rodri does a half, Phillips does a half.
I just was so scared about Rodri's performance against Villa that I'd want to keep him out the whole game. I would have left him at home, mate. I wouldn't even took him. I said, have a day off, mate. You know what I'm saying? You don't need you, because you just look so tired and fatigued. That's the only reason I'm really reluctant to put him in the side today, because I think my problem is as well, I've got not just one eye, I've got 1.5 eyes, on the Spurs game at the weekend, because it's absolutely huge. That game is massive. It's so big, that game, and we've struggled so much against Spurs that I ain't focusing on this game tonight. I'm not doing a Seville watch along tonight. I'm doing a Seville with a this is what's happening at the weekend. And I know I shouldn't do that, Bray, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Again, bro. The other day he was like, one game at a time. And now you're like, fucking 3 games in advance.
I know, but the problem is, that is what you should do. You should always be 1 game at a time. But the games come so quick, and the games are so important that you can't do that, because if you do that, you'll end up burning out, mate. You'll end up burning out the team. Do you know what I mean? We can't just look at Seville today and go, let's get the job done. Let's move on to
no, because if that was the case, then we'd full send a full 11. Do you know what I mean? Like our strongest possible team.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. There is, as much as you can say, take it one game at a time. I get that, tactically wise and everything, like, yeah, but in the sense of picking your team, I feel like you do have to have an eye on the weekend, especially with the injuries in that. You have to have an eye on the weekend, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, but then I get it, but personally, I think he's going to start Rodri over playing Gundogan in the 6.
Pressed, yes, Bray, member for 23 months, man. Says, it makes sense if Rodri came off at half-time for Phillips, but I genuinely can't remember the last time Pep made a half-time substitution. I know.
Press, mate, that is facts.
That is facts. And Anthony Gaming with a $10 donation, yes, bro, says, Man City need a new right-back in January. Well, maybe they'll move for one in January. It's unlikely. I don't think they will move for anyone in January, but you never know.
Bro, I just realised something that I've overlooked.
What have you overlooked, bro?
Rodri's starting.
Rodri's starting. Oh, well, yeah.
He's in the press conference. The player that does the press conference with Pep starts.
Yeah, but I remember that we mentioned this last season in a game.
One time it didn't happen.
I feel that was the time you mentioned it.
Yeah, one time. Nah, I mention it every week. I mentioned this, literally, I say this every single time last year. Every single time I was like, yeah, he's starting. Yeah, he's starting. Because we used to always say it in our previews. But yeah, then there was one time, I think, Tosi, it might have been Raheem Sterling on one of them. There's one time where it didn't happen. I think it might have been against Atletico Madrid.
Paritosh, yes, gifted
yes, Paritosh.
memberships. Paritosh, what a legend. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate that. Good luck to the people in the chat who are not members. Fingers crossed. Make sure you accept it in it. So you need to go to the present of the chat and then click allow gifts, and you could be one of the lucky 5 from Paritosh there. So sorry, bro. What's your midfield and front three? What are you doing, Bray? What are you starting?
I'm starting with Rodri in the team.
Yeah.
I'm going Rodri, Gundo, Bernardo in the mid, and then front three, I'm saying Alvarez, Haaland, Grealish.
So you don't start Bernardo?
Yeah. Rodri, Gundo, and Bernardo in the mid.
Oh, so you don't play Kevin?
Nah. Oh, by the way, the gifted memberships are getting given out.
Yes.
That must mean the fixed.
It's a fix.
The fix, because when Obaid was doing gifted memberships last week, it weren't working, innit? Thank you, YouTube, for listening to us on our emails for the first time. Yeah, I don't know, and there's something about maybe giving Kev a bit of a rest. I don't know. I'm just literally throwing anything out.
It's not, no, I don't know if I...
Rodri, Gundo, Bernardo.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Kev gets a rest there for the weekend.
Kev get rested? He was poor against Villa. And we've got a massive game coming up at the weekend. Do we need him for this game against Seville? Probably not. But
then he did get a rest the day before against Forest. The game before against Forest, he didn't play at all in that game. So maybe it makes more sense to get Kevin a run of games.
Yeah, maybe it's not rest that he needs.
Yeah, we have this conversation every year. We have, every year, right? We have this conversation of how do we fix Kev? Do you keep playing him or do you take him out the side? Do you know what I mean? What is it? Do you know what I mean? How do you get the best version of Kev? Do you give him a rest?
Straro, what are you on about? He wasn't poor against Villa, mate. Come off it, Straro. Are you Kevin De Bruyne? I mean, his account. No way do you think he had a good game, mate. He put a great cross in for the assist, I'll give you that.
It was a worldy cross, but it was ass.
His game was poor, mate. Come on. That is an agenda if I've ever seen one.
I think Kev plays. Do you know what I mean? I actually think Kev plays, bro. I've flip-flopped. Flip-flop. Because he was rested against Forest.
Play him then, innit?
Play him.
Reece Connor, how about Cole Palmer, Rico Lewis? I think both players should come off the bench today. I agree. Good point. Do you want Paul Guard? I've got Paul it then. Kev, rest or nah? Rest.
Or nah.
Oh, there we go. Chat, you have your vote, man. The poll is in the chat there. Do you want to rest Kevin De Bruyne or not to? That's a good one. That's a good little talking point, that. Obaid with a 2, and then the 2 says membership work again. More excited about tonight's stream than the game, says Obaid.
I mean, he's more excited for us, isn't it? You know what I mean? Go on, Obaid, dude.
Right, so the polls there's only 100 votes so far. There's only 700 people in the stream, so we'll give it another minute or so.
Sai, by the way, said Zinni against Mönchengladbach was for the press conference where he didn't play.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
So I get maybe it's just not a fact, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because we used to run it like it was factual information, like forever. The whole last season we ran that as if that was like gospel, but maybe we're just on a lucky roll in it of like, maybe it's not facts.
Paratosh, yeah, I've seen this morning actually in the email. So yeah, you got a refund. So Obeyed,
what's that?
You get so basically if the memberships aren't gifted out, they get refunded to the person who gave it. So basically,
because Paratosh gifted 5 the other day as well as Obeyed. So Obeyed, check your emails, mate, because you'll have been refunded them gifted memberships. Because whilst we was on that stream, I was legit on live chat with YouTube trying to fix it, because I was like, yo, what is going on here? This ain't right. Like, what has happened to these? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, so big up Paratosh. Thanks for letting us know that.
Yeah, Brandon with a 5. I remember Brandon. Brandon's on one here. He says,
no, I remember this.
Did I convince you that we are better without Kevin right now? He's our best player, but Alvarez is way better at the second striker role. Did you say right now, though, or was you just being generally saying that we are better without Kevin De Bruyne in the team? So I feel like you've changed the goalposts there, Brandon.
Yeah, I think you've mixed it up a little bit.
I feel like you've changed the goalposts there, Brandon. I don't think you said, when you super chatted that last time, right now. If you do, fair play, hands are up. But I don't think you said that. I thought you just said it as a sort of general point that Kevin De Bruyne we're better without Kevin De Bruyne in the side. I don't know if that's what you said, innit? Let me know. You have to super chat to put it in the chat.
FYI, for all the people in the stream, we are less than 100 subscribers away from, is it 63k?
63, yeah.
63k, less than 100. So hopefully we can get that today, bro.
I know.
Hopefully we can get that today.
Well, let's have a look at this poll then. It is very split. 60% of people say play Kevin De Bruyne. 41% of people say rest him. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like we have this conversation every year, and the answer to the question usually is play him. And I think I back it. I think play him, bro.
I think we just play him into some like sick form.
I'll tell you what I do as well. I'll ask Rodri, play or... I feel like that's the other talking point, innit, really. Rodri, play, rest. There you go. Right, chat. So, I think 60% is split, Lord. I think 60% is split. There's still 40% of people in the stream that want him to be rested. I think it's quite a high number, that. Right, new poll in the chat, guys. Rodri, do you want to rest him or do you want to play him? Let's have a look at that one as well. Lewis says Grealish and Gomez on the left-hand side. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. And I think, actually, that's something that I want to see.
We spoke about this when we were signing Gomez, and because we kept saying that Grealish and Cancelo kept getting in the way of each other, and it became muddy because both of them want to cut in. Whereas if you get Gomez, he can bomb it down that left-hand side. Them two need to get their link-up play from the off. Do you know what I mean? They need to be on it. They need to be on it, them two.
Yeah, sure. Is Grealish ready, though? I think Grealish is ready, but I think he's been training for quite some time.
I mean, he was on the bench against Villa.
Yeah, and with Grealish, you would only give him 60 minutes. And then potentially you could look at bringing on Mahrez, Cole Palmer, you could bring on Foden. You know, there's loads of options off the bench there that you could do. You could even play Gomez there and then stick on Wilson Esbrand if you really wanted. That'd be a nice, that'd be something nice to do if you wanted to just... really change it up and really get some rest to players. But I think it's important. I think if Grealish does start today, I think it's important. I think this season for Jack Grealish, he has to perform. He has to get involved and make things happen more than he did last year. I didn't think last year that Jack Grealish was crap, but I don't think he hit the sort of expectations that many people hit. Now, we all know, and you should all know by now, that wingers typically in the first year under Pep Guardiola do struggle. So this year it's really, really important for Jack Grealish to get on the ball and make things happen. I think, people say, well, it's not his fault about the price tag, but the price tag is the price tag. That will generate its own pressure from City fans, from the media, from other fans as well, and probably from the club, because the club want to see a return on that investment. So I think it's really important for Jack Grealish to start performing at the level that he needs to be, especially because he's battling at the moment with Phil Foden. People are saying that Phil Foden's had a bad start to the season. I don't think Phil Foden's had a bad start to the season.
I think it's because he didn't make them passes to Haaland.
Yeah, I must be on, like, there's very few people that are in the sort of Foden's doing all right camp this season. But if that is true, that Foden's having a bad start to the season, that means Jack Grealish has a good opportunity to take that spot off Foden right now. So I think it's really important that he performs.
Yeah, time to step up, innit? Mural in the chat here says, "Hear me out, lads," and this is, I mean, it could be a good shout. This Ortega in goal. Edison in midfield. Do you know what I mean? You can rest Rodri, put Edison. I reckon, on a real though, I reckon Edison would do a job in midfield. Bro, I reckon he'd be so calm on the ball in that midfield role. Yeah, that ain't ever happening.
Not to Davo says, buzzing to see Akanji tonight. Hope he plays more. Yeah, I'm buzzing to see him play.
I think I'd be so disappointed if Akanji doesn't get a start tonight, especially with our centre back situation.
Yeah, I think he will. Brandon with a 5 says, we are more fluid without him. If I'm being honest, I love him, but it feels like when he's on the team, runs away too much through. Oh, the team runs way through him.
Yeah, but then look at the. Was it that game or was it the Forest game where Kev came off the bench against Forest, actually, didn't he? Did he? Oh, am I chatting shit? I've got a goal in my mind and I can't remember. It wasn't a Haaland goal then, because Forest had a free kick. Kev won it really high. Do you know what I mean? Won it back really early, driving forward. Mahrez was getting pulled back. Do you know what I mean? And that all stems from Kevin De Bruyne. We got a goal there because Kev put it in the shift in. So I think it's not a bad thing to run through Kevin De Bruyne. He's the best passer on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? That is not a bad thing to be doing. But I see what you're saying. I think because of was it the Palace game where Kev didn't? No, it's because of the Forest game when he didn't start the game. It's because of that people are like, oh, we look better now without Kevin in the side.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I don't
Forest
know,
were absolutely shite.
Forest were arse, and even when Kev's shit, you got to keep him on the pitch.
Well, that's opinions for you, isn't it? Paratosh with a 5 says we should play Haaland, Alvarez, Grealish, Mahrez, Rodri or Phillips, Bernardo or Gundo, Gomez, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, Ortega, says Paratosh.
Oh, and we can't play Stones.
Yeah, Stones ain't available, bro.
It has to be a Kanji.
Yeah, it'll be a Kanji, bro. I think a Kanji will be playing. Thanks a lot for the dono. Paul, Rodri, play or rest. Split again, 57% of people say rest him, and 43% say play him. So more people saying he needs a rest than not. Very split in it, and these decisions, the streamer saying, pretty much just over half are saying play, rest Kev, just over half saying rest Rodri or whatever it is the other way around. And Pep will have these difficult decisions. These are difficult choices, as influenced by the poll there. If it wasn't a difficult choice, well, it'll be up in the 90s or the 100% of people will be saying the same thing. The reason it's so close is because it's a difficult decision, and this is why Pep Guardiola's paid the money he does, because he has to make these decisions and then he has to live with the result. So. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be a good one. Of course, guys, we are doing our live watch along tonight. We'll be live at around 10 to 7, is it? 10 to 7. The game kicks off at 8. We'll be live at around 10 to 7 to get you that lineup reaction. It's going to be a good one. Match day 1 of the Champions League. I'm buzzing for it. Anything else in the chat, guys? Let us know, bro. What are you saying? Anything else? I think we've gone through everything from the press conference yesterday as well. Yeah, we have. Anything you want to say, Brie?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. I'm out.
You're out.
I'm all out. Although, I would like to see Akanji start. Basically, I seen Matthew there said he's got a reliable person saying it's Diaz and Ake, and I don't know. I don't like that. I just want Akanji to start in it. But then when you say that, it does make me feel like it will be Diaz Ake. Like it makes me think like Pep won't full send it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Robin says Arsenal clear reviews. Only 1 point clear of us now, though, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. Right, guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining. It's been a good one. Make sure you drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel before we go. It could be a 63k subscriber party tonight, man. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Help us get to 63,000 subscribers. We're now 90 subscribers away from getting to that milestone, man. So we appreciate all of that. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back 10 to 7 UK time, 10 minutes before the team news comes out. We'll bring you that live, get all that reaction. And then obviously it's a watch a long time. Match day 1 Champions League. See you in the next one. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.